Is the curious case of Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer the thing that finally broke the camel's back as far as the BCCI Ranji Trophy participation and prioritizing the IPL is concerned? It would definitely seem so. Just about a day after reports emerged that the BCCI were going to make it mandatory for all players to be taking part in the Ranji Trophy for their state teams if they are not on national duty or at the NCA or rehabbing an injury, another fresh report has come about which gives further credence to the idea that the board is finally starting to try and prioritize the Ranji Trophy domestic red ball cricketing system once again. Why so? Well, we'll get to that in just a bit, and we'll also discuss in some detail the context or the reason why it's seeming like more and more steps are adding up to prove that you're moving past the point wherein you're looking at the IPL as the be all and end all. The board is trying its best to, let's say, refocus on domestic cricket and ensure that that is the yardstick, at least for test cricket and potentially even for the IPL. How so? Well, a new news report has come about in the news agency, the Press Trust of India, wherein a BCCI source has been quoted saying in no uncertain terms that in order to play in the IPL, the BCCI is likely going to make it mandatory that every player has to play at least 3 to 4 domestic Ranji Trophy games in a season. In fact, this is the exact quote. The BCCI will make it mandatory to play 3 to 4 Ranji Trophy games, failing which they can't play IPL or even appear in the IPL auction if released by their franchise. Now that is massive. It means that in theory, assuming this diktat comes into play from this year onwards, then potentially an Ishan Kishan who hasn't played a domestic game for Jharkhand throughout their Ranji Trophy campaign would not be eligible to play for the Mumbai Indians, even though he has a 15 crore contract with them. What's worse, even if he were released by the Mumbai Indians for the next IPL, he would still not be eligible because he's not played those mandated number of Ranji Trophy games. It is an interesting move, let's say, because again, a lot of times there has been talk that you're not prioritizing Ranji Trophy and that young players are not choosing to play the Ranji Trophy because again, there's no real incentive. The incentive has always been the IPL, at least that has been the case in the last decade or so. This is an interesting way to link both together because the board is essentially telling players, listen, you want to prioritize T20 cricket, you want to prioritize the IPL, then if you have to play IPL, if you have to play T20 cricket, you need to be playing a few Ranji Trophy games here or there as well. And it's definitely an interesting update, let's say, because again, if you look at the kind of steps that have been taking place in the past, you'll realize the bigger picture means that the board is trying to prioritize the Ranji Trophy again. Because recently news reports emerged that the BCCI made it mandatory, in fact were making it mandatory and were sending out a communications to all players that listen, if you are not injured, if you're not in the NCA or not on national duty, then you have to be playing domestic cricket. You have to be playing the Ranji Trophy. If your state is playing, if your team is playing, you need to be playing in that particular game. No excuses. The only way you're exempt is if you're on national duty, rehabbing an injury, or currently out injured. What's even better is they have been picking certain players based on their form in the Ranji Trophy. Sarfaraz Khan has gotten a call up because he's been putting out phenomenal numbers in domestic red ball cricket. Same can be said about Rajat Patidar, Dhruv Jurel too, who's supposedly in line for a test debut, has played or has done well in first class cricket, which is why he's getting that opportunity in the first place. So it begs the question, is the IPL then no longer the benchmark? Well, that is something that you'll only know in due course, because again, many of us believe that these steps are small steps, but that they're coming very late. At this point, the financial incentives from being an IPL star far outweigh the financial incentives of being a domestic player. But now what the BCCI have cleverly done is ensure that if you have to become an IPL star, mandatorily you're going to be needing to play a few Ranji Trophy games as well. It's an interesting move again because at least this way you're ensuring that all your top talented players are in fact going to be playing in the Ranji Trophy. What that means is with the top players available, the level of competition in this particular tournament will be higher, meaning that players are up against better players and they are able to sharpen their skills and gain more experience playing against the best talent that the country has to offer. Is this something that can work in the long term? Again, only time will tell, but it's a good start. And judging by all of the steps that have been taken, it's definitely looking like a very, very interesting thing to be doing. And if you're a fan of red ball test cricket, if you're a romantic of the game, perhaps no news could be better. But what are your thoughts on the entire matter? Do you agree with the mandate? Do you think the BCCI are going too far? What are your thoughts? You can let us know that in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTak app. And if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've uploaded as well. For now though, from my side, it's goodbye.